Is anybody up late trading the market at all? We had some movement last night. Money making movement. Can't find any news on ZVO. All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Short restricted today. Maybe squeeze. Where are we at? ZVO. Yeah. Well, interesting. It's got a little bit of a wedge, which could break either way going on. COMS somewhat similar, but hanging around VWAP. RMED as well, but RMED with to be the biggest move in market. So RMED with the most potential, but all three with pretty decent charts. Let's move this a little bit more. RMED also more liquid, and it has traded 4 million shares already pre-market. What's the float on COMS and RMED? I don't think that TradingView gives me the best float information. So for RMED, I've got in TradingView 1 million float. Ooh, that's right. I saw Zach Morris doing that. Yeah, that's good. Got the hype behind it. Yeah, that's true, Chris. You show 34 million. See, I show 1 million float. Oh, on ZVO maybe is what you're talking about. And COMS 96. Let's see. I show COMS 70. Now the thing is, you should always go with whatever number is the lowest across the websites that you're checking. You should always go with the lowest because it can't really get lower than what's reported in their statements, minus whatever any kind of updated information any website can get. So the lowest number is going to be the most recent number. Yeah, that's what I show, 1.084. Oh, that's on MED. Okay, I don't even MED. Is that a new one to check out? Oh, you mean RMED? Okay. Yeah, same. So yeah, we got some float information here. COMS. So RMED really poised to flip out. And why not get it here at the base at VWAP? It's already moved 80%. What does it say over here? 2% since yesterday? I don't know. I don't think that's true. Yesterday it was at 5, but it's been recently as high as 7. So this is a dead cattish bounce at RMED. No, this is pretty much the first decent, almost 100% move pump for a few months. So it looks like every pump has faded during the day. I mean, if I had to put money on which way it would go during the day, almost all gap ups are met with a red rip down. All, especially recently. RMED could be just fading all day. And then over on ZVO. Oh, ZVO, same thing, almost related. COMS, because it has blips on the same days. And COMS, this is not a terribly significant pop on COMS. So gosh, all these with not the greatest outlooks, and we'll see what happens. You could have, Chris says, you could have some people happy to get out here, right? For sure. We're holding through the lows, RMED. He started around 6, went just below 5. Yeah, he's been pumped. Yeah. All right. Take a look at the market, everybody, because it has been interesting. Overnight in the Asian session, the market really rallied. I mean, this front side move was outstanding. When it finally did get to the top, it started triple topping, quadruple topping, and was a nice short. I got that on the pullback. But the main point here is, I did get the front side of the move. But the main point here is that the Asian markets basically rallied on the fact that we had a green day of continuation off of the bottom 3 sessions ago. And it held up, against scrutiny, against on the Asian markets. And then when the London markets opened, same thing. So consequently, we are now opening up, gapped up over the prior 7 sessions of days. That's huge. That's a huge gap up. The 7x gap, when you think of it that way. I don't think we've had a gap that huge, blast over 7 prior sessions in one gap in a long time. So, beware of the gap fill, but also, void space like that can also act as support. So just don't necessarily be bearish just because we're opening so high. This could literally turn into a big short covering session. And, we could have a lot of rallies to the upside today. It's possible. I mean, that's what happened on the Asian markets. And for the first few rallies, if you tried to short the reversal at the top, you got your face ripped off. So if that repeats again today, be quick to adapt. There's certainly nothing wrong with trying to, to have bearish thesis, because if it does pan out, there's definitely space and room there to fill the gap. But just watch out. If 2 trades later it's just not working out and you keep getting your face ripped off, change your thesis. Adapt, man. So be quick to adapt on a day like today. And I'm very curious to see what happens. We have about 9 minutes until the market opens. And I'm looking forward to definitely a potentially very tradable day. That's for sure. That's something we can, knock on wood, I think we can say, is that this kind of a gap is going to release a ton of trading movement. And certainly it should gap the VIX down as well. I know the VIX hit negative 30.59 in pre-market. Mine's negative because I have the VIX flipped in my charts, so I can get correlation and divergences. But I think we're going to see that VIX really deflate down below 30s during the session today. Even if today turned red, you understand, unless it could get underneath yesterday's low, it still would be a higher low and a higher high. So barring just like a terrible sell-off, even a red day today would not be bad. It would still signify uptrend. So there's almost, like a 90% chance that the way the day fills out is not going to be negative for the long run. And in fact, it's going to support continuation of a move off the bottom. And that we have kicked off a rally that I don't know how long it's going to last. This could be the end of it. Who knows? But we'll see. So it's just a high chance that we're putting in some kind of signs of continuation today. Roblox had its best day since IPO yesterday. Yeah, everybody was on it, I think, yesterday. Chris, I'm not sure if you were in the lives. I recommended for one of our members, they had some calls to keep holding. because it was likely going to have the potential for continuation today. It is reaching sort of an inflection point, and on the one hand, that can be a good spot to get out or to scale out a small profit. And on the other hand, if you can break that pivot point, then continuation to the upside would signify a bottom reversal. And so Roblox would then be off the bottom and a potential swing trade for some months, or could be even years. If this is the bottom, you just leave it there. You wouldn't want options on something like that. I mean, using options to try to catch the bottom here and make some money, probably the worst thing you could do in a bear market. Because if you ever pick the bottom, you should just keep your shares. Well, if whatever it is, and just go get a job, make some more money, and then put some more money, or trade with more money that you get from somewhere else. But if you pick the bottom on something, keep it. Because in a year or two, it's going to be 400% more. 1,000% more. 100%. My Dillard's pick, I got it at gosh, I don't remember now, $19 or something, $20, something around there, $20, the bottom of the pandemic drop. 1.5 years later, it was up over 1,000%. So, and Foot Locker and a bunch of other picks that I had picked back then, Discover Financial Services. There was a bunch of great value at the bottom. If you get into something like that, get in with shares. Don't be stupid. We are literally finding the bottom here on the market. And you could end up with something extraordinary that you might want to hold for 1.5 or 2+ years. Okay, good advice from past experience. Just trade this bottom. Be in it to win it. All right, so back to the momentum stocks. Let's see if anything's shaping up. They may look like they're not going to shape up, but if this market blows green wind, then I think we might see some of those faders start to actually pick up some steam and maybe break pre-market highs. Watch for the break of pre-market highs on those once the market opens. All right, the market is opening in 5 minutes. And we are a little bit on the backside of the trade now on that rally up in pre-market for the last 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. We're kind of on the backside of that trade and fading. So the open will really be important to pay attention to. You'll want to be watching the 1, 2, and 5 minute opening range breaks and try to catch some idea of how this market will go. And then 10 and then 30. There could be a reversal around 30 minutes, but yeah, that's what you want to watch. So we got to get a sense of direction here. The market right now is starting to rally up. Our time frame going. I can't even see behind my 15-second. Let me just green. Gorgeous uptrend. You're not going to be used to that. So if today that's what happens, it's going to also be short. It's going to be short covering filled as extra kindling. And so it could be quite strong. You might not be used to that. And if it is not, fine. It's not. Then you're going to be used to it, and you're going to know how to react. But don't be caught off guard. If today turns out to be a very strong green day, that could be very fruitful. But what's the big deal about Twitter? What? Everyone's saying Twitter. God, there's absolutely nothing fucking happening on Twitter. What's the deal, man? All right. We got, what is it? 2 minutes and 40 seconds until the market opens. And somebody says, Tesla. No, that's not really well set up. Want to get bullish on something that's like cracking key breakout points. On Tesla, you got a bottom reversal all the way up into resistance. I mean, you should be trying to find something that's blue sky. Yeah, sundial. But that does remind me. Let's take a look at First Solar. And some of these could be poised for breakout. All right, 2 minutes. We do have just signs of a little bit of signs of increasing volatility right here at the breakout pre-market on the market. Increased volatility just a little bit. So, right at the top of the market, maybe it's going to sell off a little. I wouldn't get biased. I would not get biased. Okay, just let the first minute play out. Let's see which way it breaks. Let the second minute play out. Let's see which way it breaks. And then let's get a 5-minute opening range. Okay, COMS, COMS coming up. ZVO coming up. RMED not. Oh, no, cancel. All right, here we go. 5 seconds. And the market is rallying right off of the open. Selling off now. Take a quick look at those momentum stocks. ZVO breaking out. ZVO's the one. By the way, NTNX hitting 27. ZVO with a breakout over 27 cents, and now it's 29 cents. Back to the market. Coming up on a break of high. High of day. Yeah, ZVO. AHR is not really up enough. I see what you mean as far as, it could be on a cup and handle pre-breakout, cheat breakout. Market pulling back for some liquidity, it looks like, with a very fast recovery off of that dip right there. probably for a move higher, it looks like. And there it is. There's that break to the upside after that liquidity grab. So it looks like the market makers are bullish. We have that information now. Based on the move that I just saw. ZVO hit 30 cents. Really nice off of the breakout at 27 cents. 11% gain so far. No pivot in sight yet. The market really on fire now, putting in some big green candleage. Definitely going to scare shorts. Shorts are basically looking at mitigating damages today. It's just going to be short covering sprinkles everywhere. Anytime there's any relief to the downside, shorts are going to just allow that to fall. So it'll be interesting to see where we find support. The market pulling back now. Just as strong as a pullback move, getting somewhat of a megaphone pattern, which is a topping pattern. This is an indecision pattern. Reversal pattern as well. It can be a reversal pattern, a topping pattern, and an indecision pattern. Your favorite kind of sprinkles. What did I say, RJ? I don't even remember. Kind of sprinkles. Talking here. Bullish sprinkles. Short covering sprinkles. I love it. My favorite sprinkles. Oh my goodness. ZVO now hitting 30, almost 34 cents. Outstanding. No pivots in sight, really. Let's see if I zoom out a little bit. Maybe there's a knot there. It's not really enough of a knot to be significant. So ZVO just continues to be a lightning rod. ZVO now up 26% from our entry. All right, well, now we have a 5-minute breakdown. 5-minute opening range breakdown. So we might be filling the gap. Let's take a look at the cues on the big chart here. We've got a lot of room to gap fill, and that looks like what we're going to start doing on the day, unless it's a fake down in the megaphone pattern. I'm going to go back and look at ZVO. ZVO holding 32 cents. COMS sold off at the open, but it's coming back a little bit slower than it sold off, so still downside momentum. RMED's been all downside since the open, and we talked about that already. That may be how the entire day plays out there. It's actually a strong move to the upside in the advances versus the decliners. So we might actually see the day turn green here. As most stocks are advancing. We actually have a 12-to-1 advancers versus decliners ratio. So, how is the market dropping if 92% of stocks are moving up right now, right? So you have to say that this is just a couple of leading stocks lagging while the rest of the market is moving up. So it's probably in small caps that we're seeing this move to the upside everywhere. 92% of the market, it's the bottom 92% of the market is moving up. And it's going to take a moment, but the big ships are slower to turn around. And that is probably what we're going to see at some point here. In the meantime, we have some gap that's filling. All right, ZVO is coming back down to that little knot at 29 cents. Selling underneath every penny was probably a good idea over on ZVO. Oh, COMS has broke out and is running. Thank you, Randy. COMS broke the pre-market high level of 7.5 cents. That would have been entry. And with a stop at the bottom of that pivot at 0.6 cents. I'm sorry, 6 cents. 2.5 cents of risk. It's now at 8.4 cents. Needed to hit about 12 cents to get 2-to-1 out of that. it is not looking like we're just going to gap fill. I mean, that's a lot of gap to fill. That's a lot of Asian session to disrespect. That's a lot of London session to disrespect. I don't think we're going to be doing 100% gap fill in any respect. That we will find a bottom here in the gap somewhere and probably turn around for the day. Maybe it'll be that dark pool bottom. Where was the well, that's Microsoft. $269.64. Wow, that'd be dreaming. That's yesterday's close and completely fills the gap. Yeah, I don't think that happens, folks. Bet on it. And then it happens. All right, we're starting to rip off the bottom again. That's quite a strong rip. It's either a quick stop run before heading back down, or it's reversal. All right, ZVO's coming back up, and COMS now hitting almost 9 cents. COMS and ZVO hot. KPRX, says Lizzie. Remember, we gotta listen to Lizzie. KPRX, let's take a look. She brings us these really low volume, they don't look like they're gonna do anything picks that end up doing something. Maybe KPRX will move. We'll see. It's at like almost $8. Oh, maybe it's halted and kind of opened around 675. Looks like it was a liquidity grab, and now we're going down. Maybe we are going to go for the full gap fill. I answered just now. Okay. ZVO coming back. Yes, it is, but it could be over. We'll see. The bit of a neckline formed, and then from the prior knot, you could say a wedge is forming, which is somewhat baggish. Yeah, RMED just totally fading. It's a gorgeous short. Shorts making money on that one. Is some of the drop in prices due to stronger dollar? Yeah, it could be a little bit, but that was already factored into the Asian session and the London session. It all feeds back into each other. We're at where we should be at. All right, COMS trying to hit 10 cents, says somebody. Yep. And we're looking for 12 cents in order to get the 2-for-1 for our risk that we had to put on the breakout on that. This being the risk. Entry. This is your risk unit. Two of those. Well, it looks like maybe I didn't calculate it correctly, but we're pretty much there. I mean, visually, it looks like we're there about 2-to-1. All right, let's take a look at Microsoft since you guys were talking about it. Looks no different than the rest of the market. Nothing especially uncorrelated going on there. Apple acting much stronger than the rest of the market. It'd be a good idea to look at its daily chart and see IRS going on. In fact, it does. It gapped up and is up. So the leader is leading up. And so maybe calls on Apple or shares. Put that alert out now. So in case you didn't understand, I'm putting an alert to get into Apple, and it's about to break high of the day. But he wanted a better price, 2 minutes ago. That's beyond a swing. That's Apple. So that's potential long-term entry. Lizzie's saying KPRX, KPRX. We were already watching it, Lizzie. Maybe you missed me talking about it. But yeah, it's pulled back to 8 after hitting 930. The volume is extremely low. The volatility extremely high. The bid-ask spreads untradeable. If anyone's interested in Lizzie's KPRX, KPRX. ZVO had a bit of a breakdown there. I'd say that's a bad sign, but it did find support at VWAP. Might be able to hold through a VWAP point there. The market dropping. Let's go back to the market. And Netflix is sitting at a pretty sweet spot, but it is pulling back instead of pushing. It is actually in a decent breakout position there. So maybe tomorrow. Apple's showing much better relative strength, not as well set up, but much better relative strength. Tesla, terrible. Showing a really bad relative strength for weeks. All I could think is that people are just not thinking, not using their brains. Oh, Netflix ER is today. That's true. So we'll see how it goes after ER. CRM, very strong. Yes. CRM, the strongest on the market right now, and behind Target, also strong. Yeah, CRM has bottom reversaled here. IRS, it's hard to say much with just this single day of high RS and a bottom reversal. We certainly have had bottom reversals on it before, potentially on high RS, and it didn't stop it from going down further. So I'm not going to alert that in particular as a swing trade. It's just not set up nicely enough. And neither is Target. I'll check some others here. Yeah, ZVO is getting pretty close to your entry and keeps breaking down. That's probably the last flush down that you should trust on VWAP. Any further flush downs, it's over on ZVO. But you should have scaled out under every cent, all the way up to 34 cents approximately. And then when we had this failed retest, take 50% off of whatever you had left, and then the neckline breakdown there, potentially exit. And then if you were going to stay in at all, it would have been to re-enter on the flush to VWAP. And if you're still in, then the flush of VWAP would need to hold. And it's not. It's over. It's over on ZVO. WRTH. Let's see. WRTH, WTRH. Nothing to see there. AKUS. Like, oh, that's the buyout stock. Yeah, we might get another drop on the market possibly here, or could go the other way. And we're now at the top of the hour. Drug and QNRX and MNMD. Drug is up 26% and running. And the QNRX. Okay. RX has got some early movement on it. Could be the first day before tomorrow it gets even more active. And RX and drug also. It's first day of activity going on there. And of course, Lizzie's KPRX as well. All of them just sort of blips. Swing, eyes. And RMED fading red all day as predicted. All right, guys, I'm going to move on for the day. Everything's slowing down. I am short the market in some accounts. So we'll see if that plays out. Now that stop opens up. You're very welcome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yes. And today was probably one of the more interesting days, and yet it's just gone somewhat flat. It might pick up. It might pick up in a little bit. We'll see. All right. I'll be back in the group. You guys can head over to the member chat area, the momentum area, and potentially active trader lounge. Certainly momentum if you want to be day trading or learning how to day trade rather. Momentum channel. Okay. Catch you guys in a little bit.